All right. Again, Lila told to everyone, just wanted to talk briefly tonight about this understanding of this Torah portion that we're in this week. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do the lesson on Tuesday due to weather conditions. You know, California's been experiencing some really bad weather. However, tonight I do want to talk about just a few verses, but the name of our Torah portion this week, does anyone know? Why? Yeah. Hail. Okay. Wayakel. Hel. Okay, it's right here. What does it mean? Well, the circumstances in which the children of Israel are gathered is after the golden calf, after Moshe has come down and his face is shining. He's been talking to the Most High. The Most High makes a decision to continue with the children of Israel after their the crime that they committed about that terrible sin that we talked about on Shabbat. And so now he's gathering Moshe at all of the congregation, okay, all of the people and all of the witnesses. That's what a congregation is. It has its stem in a witness. That's what a congregation is a witness or witnesses to what the Most High has said. So they have actually witnessed this with their eyes, and they've actually heard these things, his voice with their ears. They actually heard him. They saw his fire and they heard his voice, okay, with their ears. This word wayakel means to be gathered, but I need to let you know how they were gathered. In the Hebrew, the actual first letter of this means and then this is he. This right here is he. Okay, talking about Moshe. And then we have this three-letter root right here called quahal. It's a qua, a hey, and a lamed. Okay, in the Hebrew, that's called quahel. Okay, and a quahel is literally saying that I am going to gather to the staff. That's what I'm doing. So now Moshe is, so if he's gathering to the staff, what are the people? If it's a shepherd staff, what is the staff used for?
Flock.
Yes. Excellent. So you're dealing with a flock. Okay. The Most High was going to destroy this flock and he was going to start over. He was also going to let Moshe just take them to the land and he wasn't going to go with them. And so there was this big, request that Moshe had made on our behalf that the Most High wouldn't leave us. So now the Most High has made a decision to continue with the sons of Israel, the people of Israel. He's asking now for everything that he told Moshe to do now to be carried out. And the way that he has done this is by gathering them to the staff, meaning I'm going to gather you to my authority. Okay. So that's what he's talking about. So our understanding this week is, or what we should have been picking up. What are some of the things that you guys picked up in your study this week? What are just some things that pops in your head when I say the Torah portion? What did you find in your Torah portion? Anything that stood out to anybody about the Torah portion?
I mean, my mind is pretty basic. It was just how
how things got done when Israel was in on one accord and when Most High, when it came to, the ark and the tent, building it and everything, like everything, things got done, when everything was like in order, structure,
Right.
and,
There you go.
yeah,
That's a great observation. So there is structure that is in this Torah portion, right? So we saw structure. We saw what they would call preparation. Okay. What else did we see? So we got some structure, we got some organization. That's our structure. What else did we see? We got the preparation. They have materials that they asked for. What else?
Um, Willingness, everybody's willing to do their part.
Wow. Yeah, and that's the key. So willingness was where it's at, right? And they call that, which we're going to get into in a second, talking about Nadiv, okay, or Nadav, which is to have a person who is willing, but a person who has a spirit of generosity, someone who's of noble character. Okay. So the individuals, all right, so let me finish with this. So we got the materials, we got the preparation of the minds, right, which they call a heart. We have the structure, and we have the individuals who have been picked to lead. So we have we have leadership as well that the Most High has designated. He had picked out these individuals. Do you guys know the name of the number one individual that he picked out? Starts with a B. He called him by name. He said, I know this person by name.
But Brazil,
Yep, his name is Betziel. Let me put it up here for us. That's his name. Okay. And he has another person that his name is Oholiab, meaning that he is my father of the tent. Okay. But Betziel's name means something. It means in the shadow of El. Okay. That's what his name means, in the shadow of El. Okay. So he's handpicked. He's a Yah says he's going to give him the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So he's a big part of the leadership of this. What else do we have? Can you think of anything else before we go on? So we got structure, we got preparation, we got materials, we got the willingness of the people, we got the leadership. We have the individual who we picked. Anything else that you can think of? And I would just say the raw materials. Okay. So this right here is enough to talk about this gathering too. Okay. The actual, I would say the mindset, okay, of a person who is willing, right? A willing person is going to have this in their life. When we're talking about the Most High, we're talking about structure. We're talking about preparation. We're talking about actually having and acquiring the raw materials, the resources that we need in order to accomplish what he's asking us. We also have to have what they would say organizational skills. Okay. And what Betziel gave us is the Most High said, I'm going to give him the spirit of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay. And you have to have some leadership. Someone has to take the lead, some leadership role in the idea of doing anything for the Most High. So a person who's willing and have this willingness, they will possess these skills. They'll have this in their life. A person that's willing to follow the Most High and to do the things that he's asking him or asking them to do, they're going to possess these traits. They're going to have these things. They're going to have some leadership, skills, organizational skills. They're going to have structure in their life. They're going to understand that they're in a process of preparation. Okay, they're going to have prepare. What are we preparing for in 2 weeks? What's coming up in 2 weeks?
Pesach.
Pesach.
Thank you. So Pesach is coming up, right? So we have to begin not on that week, but we actually have to start preparing for Pesach before Pesach, okay? And we're doing that with a willingness of mind, right? So name some of the things that you would say that we'd have to do in order to prepare for Pesach right now. What could we do?
Clean our house and get rid of all the things with yeast.
Yeah. Yes. So it's 2 weeks, right? So it's literally like, about 14 days, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's around that a little bit. Yeah, about 2.5 weeks. So, but the Most High says that on the Pesach day, that's when all of that has to be gone. So, if you have these things in your home, you can start getting rid of them if you don't need them. If you need them at this moment, what could you do to prepare? Give me an idea. Instead of just throwing it away, what could you do with it?
Give it to people.
Yeah, you could give it to someone
or donate it to stake, which is like short-term food
right.
banks that we did.
Yeah. Donate.
And I've just been giving away to UC Davis students.
Yeah, you can give, you can donate, but even so, you can eat it. You can eat it and get rid of it by going through a process of saying, okay, I've already done. So if you had to find out what you had, what would be the term that you would have to, what term would you use if you had to go through your house and look for things? What would be that? Taking what?
There's so much. Like, I didn't even know baking soda, baking powder has yeast.
Yes.
Pastas.
Yes.
Not just wine is made out of wheat, yeast. You can't make red wine without yeast, which is made out of wheat.
Yes.
So, or you could just put it in another building, right?
No, you can't. Tell me the reason why you can't. Why do you think you cannot take your yeast products and put them in another building?
I mean, a separate home, like your second home, you can't do that?
No. Tell me why.
I don't know.
Okay. So I put a word up here that I want you to pay attention to. Is called inventory, right? So in our preparation and looking at our materials, we have to find out what our inventories are. What exactly do we have? I'm going to answer your question about why you can't put it in your second house, or why can't you put it in a garage, or why can't you put it in a storage, or why, right? The Most High had told us, he says, when you do this, you can't be any place of your dwelling or any place that you own that belongs to you. Okay. So you can't take it and put it somewhere else. It's still part of you. That's the reason why I can't go in a second home. It's still yours. It's still part of you. You're still owning it. Yes, Koti. Chini.
So even like emergency food, 25 years it's made out of, like pasta is made up, has yeast. So you got to get rid of all that too?
Yeah. You cannot have any yeast products in your possession. Nothing that, when I say possess, that means ownership.
So that just reminds me that we just have to trust Yahweh and
yes,
live each day as if it's our last day then.
Yes. Yes. When I first understood this, I was like, okay, well, I'll just put it in the garage. Right. And I read the text, it said in any of your dwellings, if any of your gates, anything that you have possession of, you cannot. So even though you might not live there, you own it. It's yours. Because it's not really about it's what the yeast represents, right? It's what the kamatz represents. That's the reason why he's asking you to get rid of it. Okay. You have to get rid of it, right? And we're going to go over that a little bit later. So inventory is what the Most High has shown us in the first part of this lesson. is Moshe's telling them this is what the Most High said. And so he's asking them if they're willing to do it. He only wants something from a person who's willing, right? The person who's willing is going to do it. The person who's not willing, who's not of the spirit of generosity. Generosity also means that you're willing to give. Because as you just stated, Akoti, Jeannie, you said we have to depend on the Most High. So everything that the children of Israel had in their possessions is because Yah gave it to them. He gave them everything they had. But he doesn't want anything from any of us if we're not willing and we don't have a spirit of generosity. He doesn't like stingy people because that goes against who he is. See? So if we're going to be his people and we're going to do what he says, he's saying these are the things that you need to do. You need to be willing. You need to have some structure. I'm going to teach you how to have structure. I'm going to teach you about preparation. I'm asking you for the materials. I'm asking you for the things that I know that you already have. Now, I'll ask the question, does the Most High need any of these things? Does he need to have linen? Does he need to live among the children of Israel?
No.
No. So
we need him.
Yeah, we need him, right? So is this really about him or is it really about us?
It's us.
It's about us. This is what this is all about. It's never about him. There's no question about who he is. There's no question about his character. There's no question about, is he willing? There's no question about, does he have structure? There's no question about preparation. The Most High even prepared when he made the earth and everything in it. You see? So this is the reason why the Most High is calling us and he's gathering the children of Israel. Keep in mind when we're reading, I want you to remember that there are little messages in here that are speaking to us. Okay? You say, well, he's talking to them. He gathered all the congregation, the sons of Israel. Guess who else was there? There was a mixed multitude that was there as well. There were strangers and foreigners among the sons of Israel. There were sons and daughters. There were old and young, all of them. Okay? Now, you and I are becoming the witnesses to the Most High. Right? Okay? And so, here's the thing. The question is how? How are you becoming a witness? How are you witnessing? How are you witnessing? Tell me, Fanta, how are you witnessing? Ted? Kent?
By your display of following Yahweh's laws, serves as a witness to other people's.
Thank you. Excellent, excellent, excellent what you just said. Okay, perfect. So if you just heard what our brother just said, he said by following. When we follow, because this is what this is, in order to gather or in order to follow, you have to be gathered. So when the Most High is gathering us together, he's saying, okay, and he's doing this by Moshe right here, are we not reading Moshe's words? Yes, we are. So the Most High is putting the staff on you and I, and he's leading, because that's what a staff is for. He's leading us in his paths. And on his path, coming up in 2.5 weeks, you and I are going to run into what they would say a Sabbaton. Okay, that's where you and I are going to run into. Okay, a Shabbat, which is called a Sabbaton, and what I want to explain to you what that means. So we're following him, and because you're following him, okay, you said, "Well, I didn't see the Most High. I haven't seen him. I didn't go to Mount Sinai. I didn't see any of this." Okay. So this letter right here, everyone, this first letter here is called an ayin. And it sounds like the word I, because that's what it is. It means an I. It's called an ayin. A-Y-I-N. Okay, an ayin. An ayin is an I. That's the first letter of a witness. The next letter right here is a dalet. spelled D-A-L-E-T. Remember, Ted, you said, hey, you're going to start over your Hebrew class again? Here you go. Very basic, okay? This letter right here, and this is how you make it in Hebrew. That's it, okay? And the dalet represents what they would call a door, okay? So we got the eye and we got the door. So the eye of the door, or the door of the eye, or the eye, and the eye does what? It looks or it sees the what? The door. The door of what? The door of the tent, or the door of the house, or the door of the sanctuary. And so when a person goes and looks towards the door of the tent, they are becoming a witness. Okay? So all the instructions that the Most High is giving is coming out of the tent of meeting. As you have seen this in your Torah portions over the last several weeks. Last week, he said he got so upset about the golden calf, he moved his tent of meeting out from away from the congregation, out far away from them, because he was so angry with them. And now we see him saying, okay, I'm going to be with you. So if I'm going to be with you and you're going to be in my presence, I need you to make me what they call a mishkan. I need you to make me a sanctuary, a dwelling place. Okay, so check this out. The Mishkan, listen, is different than the tent of meeting. Why is this pen is tripping? Okay, so we didn't know this. All this is new for us, okay? So don't get discouraged. We're all learning. So the Mishkan is the sanctuary, okay? The tent of meeting is where was established, where the Most High was talking to the children of Israel prior to them building the Mishkan. Okay, so this chapter is talking about all the materials and everything you need for the Mishkan. Not for this, not for the tent of meeting, because right now he's been talking to them. And he's been using Moshe to go into the tent of meeting to receive the instructions. And once he comes out of the tent of meeting, he tells the children of Israel what to do. You see? So now he's gathering them and he's saying, okay, after he came out of the tent of meeting, not when he had a vision, not when he had a voice, not when he saw, a theophany, he actually had a conversation with the Most High and said, okay, Most High said, go and tell them this. So now that they're gathering together, he's explaining to them, now we're going to build the Mishkan. And the Mishkan, everyone, is going to take some time. So let's do a little time. I think it's called a schedule. Okay. So the children of Israel, when did they come out of Egypt? What month?
Abib.
Yep. Abib. Abib is the first month. Okay. Abib or Aviv, whatever, because the V's are pronounced softly. These are really soft B's. You go Aviv. Okay. So Abib, it's fine. Aviv. And you see the word Av in there, which is an aleph and a bet, which has to do with the father. Okay. So the first month is Aviv. Okay. It means the first green thing that you saw. So they came out on what day? What day in Aviv did they come out?
First day?
Nope.
The 10th or 15th?
15th day.
They came out on the 15th day. He told them the first of this month is going to be the first of months to you. And then on the 10th day, I want you to go grab a lamb or a goat, and then I want you to take it and slaughter it on the 14th day. Okay. And then that's going to be your Passover, your Pesach. Then after they did the Passover, they left on the 15th. Because remember, he said you stay in your house all night until the morning, because the death angels coming all through Mitzrayim. Okay, so they left on the 15th. Okay, now they've been out in the wilderness for some time now. All right, Does anyone remember what month that they received the Torah after they came out? Take a guess. Was it the second month or third month?
Third?
Excellent. It was on the third month. Okay. That they received the Torah. And that was in chapter number 20. Excuse me, 19. Okay. So chapter number 19 of Exodus, and this is important for us to understand because it's about organization. It's about understanding dates and times, okay, and seasons. So the Most High comes to them on the third month and he tells them, I'm going to see you in 3 days. So on the third month, on the 15th day, Moshe gets information and the Most High gives him the wedding contract and tells him, go down and tell him what I said. So he gets this on the 15th day and says, I'm going to come and see you on, 3 days, which is that day, the second day, and the third day. Okay. So the first day is the 15th, the second day is the 16th, and I'll be prepared because I'm coming on the 17th. So he comes on the 17th of the third month. Okay. Then he goes up. How long did Moshe go up on the mountain?
40 days.
Excellent. So now check this out. He comes down the same day. Okay. He comes down the same day. And he tells them, hey, I received the Mishpatim. I received this. And and Most High said, go, show them, tell them what it is and see if they're going to do it. And again, that's the second time he said, oh yeah, we'll do it. Here, let me show it to you. So you can get the timeline. Because I don't want you, because we're not just trying to do Bible stories just to, to get the story to be like, okay, well, I got the story. I know that, he showed up in fire. No, you want to know what time frame. Okay. So to Moshe, Yahweh said, come up to Yahweh, you, Aaron, Aharon, Nadav, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and prostrate yourselves at a distance. This is on the same day that they received the Torah, the same identical day. Okay. So Moshe and them, they went up. I'm not going to read all that. They went up, and you can read this later in 24. And then after they had that meal and they saw that vision of the Most High, verse number 12 says, Yahweh said to Moshe, come up to me on the mountain and stay there, and I will give you the stone tablets with the Torah and the mitzvot that I have written on them. Past tense. I've already written them on there. Okay. So that you could teach it to them. Right. So Moshe got up. Also, Yehoshua, his assistant, Moshe went up into the mountain, Elohim, and to the leaders, he said, stay here for us until we come back to you. Aharon and Hur are with you. Whoever has a problem should turn to them. Right. And so Moshe went up into the cloud and it covered the mountain, and the glory of Yahweh stayed on the mountain. Right. And the cloud covered it for 6 days. Okay. It stayed there for 6 days. And on the 7th day, he called to Moshe. Right. And then the people of Israel saw the glory of Yahweh looking like a raging fire on the top of the mountain. Moshe entered the cloud and he went up on the mountain. He was on the mountain 40 days and nights. Okay. Chapter number 20, that's chapter 24. 25 is going to tell you in chapter number 25, Yahweh tells him about the teruma. I'm not going to read all of it. There's all the things right there. You can see it. He says, this is all the stuff that I want to do. This is everything I'm going to need. I'm going to give you the instructions and about the tabernacle and gold and this and that. He goes over everything. Okay. Chapter number 26. And he tells about the manure and everything. Here he's still talking about the, what he needs in 26. Right. And this is through the 40-day period. Okay. Go on. Chapter number 27. That's where we're going next. He still gives them the measurements. He's still going over all this information. So in the 40-day time period, he's going over everything. Okay. 28. Then he tells them about Aaron and his sons and who's going to be the priest. Okay. This is still in that 40-day period, right? And I think he also mentions Betziel in here, if I'm not mistaken. He talks about the ephod and all that, right? Just walking you through right quick so you can see what's going on. 29, right? He says, you're to consecrate to me, them, and he's talking about the consecration and how they're supposed to go in and what they're supposed to do and what animal they're supposed to slaughter and all this kind of stuff. We're still in the 40-day period, okay? Okay, chapter number 30. He talks about the incense altar and all that goes on. He's still giving him information. And this is what he's revealing to us about what was said up there. There's other things possibly too, because we found out in chapter number 32 and 33 that Moshe said, you said that you know me. So they were having conversations, okay? He wasn't up there eating. He was getting this download and seeing everything, okay? 31. There it is. Yah calls Betziel in 31, which we see in our Torah portion. He's telling Will exactly what he's going to do. Then he tells him in 31 also too, tell the people of Israel, you are to observe my Shabbats, verse number 13, right? And you to keep it and guard it, right? And tells him for 6 days and so forth and so on. Still about the Shabbat. It's all about the Shabbat. Chapter number 32. Now, chapter number 32. So from chapter number 24 to chapter number 32, that was your 40 days. That's a 40 days and 40 nights right there. Between that time, chapter number 24 and chapter number 31.
Here to ask a question.
Yes.
You said that he went up into the clouds and the mountain, and the Most High didn't come to him until the seventh day. So was he celebrating the Shabbat?
More than likely. The Most High doesn't do any work. He rests. He doesn't have him do anything. He sat there for 6 days and did not move. You see? So here he says, now chapter number 32 is the 40-day period. It's over, right? So now think about this for a second. So if it's 40 days and 40 nights, we know that it's 1 month. Come on. 30 days and 10. That's 40. Okay. So he gives them a month. He's up there for a month and 10 days. Right? So now we know. So what if he's up there and he went up there in the 3rd month? When did he come back down? If he went up on the 3rd month on the 17th day, check this out. He went up on the 3rd month on the 17th day. Then he spent 40 days there. So we know you add another month, he'll be in the 4th month. You add the 10 to that, that's 27. He's almost in the 5th month. By the time he comes down, he's almost into the 5th month. He's like right at the end of the 4th month because it's the 4th month on the 27th day. You see what I'm saying? So then he's almost in the 5th month when he comes down, when he said the golden calf. Then he went back up again to try to intercede for the children of Israel. How many days did he stay up there again?
$40 days.
Thank you. So Moshe didn't go up there just 40 days, people. He went up there several times. Okay. So now we understand he's in the 4th month, roughly around the 27th day. He comes down, things get bad. When he comes down, he burns up the golden calf. The following day, he said, I got to see if I can go back up to Yahweh. You see? So now we're going on to the fifth month. Okay. So roughly around the 5th month, or right at the end of the 4th month, the 5th month, he goes back up for another 40 days. Okay, so in the 5th month, roughly, he goes up for another 40 days, which is a month and 10 days again. So now he's like in the 6th month. Okay, he's in the 6th month around the 10th or somewhere in that area. He's in the 6th month. Okay. Your Torah portion this week, how long do you think it was before they put up the tabernacle, the Mishkan? You guys know?
The 7th month?
No. He says that I want you to put up the tabernacle in Aviv on the 1st day of the month. So what does that tell us about how long it took him?
Over a year.
Well, roughly
Year better.
about, let me see. Okay, let me show it to you. I don't want to tell it to you. I want to show it to you. I don't want you to think I'm making it up. You know, some people be making up stuff just to make everybody be like, ooh, no. It's on chapter number 40, and it's here. Yahweh said to Moshe, on the 1st day of the 1st month, you are to set up the tabernacle, the tent of meeting. So we understand that it was the 6th month, roughly, when he came back down and his face was shining and so forth. And we don't know how long, remember, it says, because it said the people, when they saw him, they were afraid. And then when he would go to the tent of meeting, he would, uncover his face. But when he came out, he would talk to them and then he'll cover his face again. So roughly what we're talking about is anywhere from the 6th month until the 4th month. Excuse me, I said 4th month, until the 1st month of the new year. So roughly, if it's in the 6th month, then it had to be literally another 6 months, between 5 and 6 months, in order to build it, in order to get everything prepared. Okay. You guys kind of follow what I'm saying? So it's not like they just got the materials and they put it all together in like a month or a couple of weeks. It took time. It took literally months. Okay. And I don't know, I forgot if I told you or not, but this week is the last part of us reading Exodus. Exodus is supposed to be finished by the end of this week. Okay. So try to read to the end of Exodus at the end of the week, at the end of this week, which you have tomorrow. And then on Shabbat, you have a double portion. So if you didn't get a chance to finish, you can read it on Shabbat as well. So here it is. The project took literally around 6 months. Okay. That's what it took. It took 6 months. And so why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you this because I want you to understand the timeline. I wish this internet would work properly. The timeline is very important for us to understand. Moshe went up on that mountain and spent over 2 times for 40 days and 40 nights. But how many times did he literally go up? He went up on that mountain several times. Sometimes he went up for a day. Sometimes he went up for, this 40 days and 40 nights. Then he came down. He went up again, came down, told him, hey, this is what the Most High said. Then came back down again. So he's been going up and down, up and down, up and down. And now we understand that there's a timeline and there's a process to doing what the Most High wants us to do. It takes time. The reason why it's taking this time is because, that was my point, is that he's talking about his Mishkan. He's not talking about the tent of meeting. He's talking about the actual tabernacle that takes time, and you're not able to go into the Mishkan. The only person who was able to go into Mishkan was the priest, okay, to officiate. And that didn't happen to the 1st of the month of the 1st month of the year. That's when it happened. But before that, the Most High had the children of Israel receiving information from Moshe. Okay. So back to my point, you and I are witnesses to what the Most High is saying, because what we're doing is is Moshe is telling you and I, hey, Pesach is coming up on this day. Prepare yourself. The Most High says, take this out your house. Okay. So he's letting us know. And by us doing what he says, and by us listening, because when it talks about gathering everyone, gathering to the staff, that word kahal has a root in it that has to do with the voice. And whose voice is talking to us? Is it really Moshe? Or is the Most High using Moshe to talk to us? He's using Moshe. And that's what he's doing today. He's talking to us through Moshe. Okay? He's giving us commands through Moshe. Let me ask you a question. Is he commanding us through the prophets?
Yep.
You say yes?
Yes.
Okay. So explain why you say that.
You said he's using Moshe to talk to us, right?
Yes. So look, what I said is the question I asked is the Most High using the prophets to give us a command. Is he telling us today, you and I, are the prophets giving us commandments?
Yeah, I mean when we read the Torah, yeah, because Moshe wrote down the words of the Most High, so when we read them, so it's
Well, I'm talking about the prophets like I'm talking about the prophets like Jeremiah or Isaiah. Are they giving commandments? Or has the commandment been established?
It's been established. The prophets they remind you for your other commandments.
Thank you. So the prophets, so let me ask you something. So does prophecy outweigh the Torah?
No.
Absolutely not. The most important part of our journey, everyone, is this. That's the most important part. Okay? Because right here, you have to wait. Prophecy is about waiting. It's about to see whether something's going to actually happen. The Most High did not design his commandments to wait and see if it's going to happen. They're actually instructions. That's what the Torah is. The Torah is light. And so when you are walking with the Most High, he's trying to lead us on a path. And the path that he's leading on is not the path of prophecy. I'm not speaking bad about the prophets. I'm just telling you that if you're waiting on prophecy, like a lot of people are, you're missing the boat, which is the Torah. It wasn't that the people had just abandoned prophecy, okay? The prophets had abandoned the Torah. The priests had abandoned the Torah. The kings abandoned the Torah, which is the laws, the statutes, and the commandments of the Most High. I mention this because also, too, a lot of people are putting the prophecy above the Torah. They're more concerned about when something is going to happen. And the whole time that they're, like I just said, the whole time that they're waiting for this to happen. So when you're waiting for something, right, you have this hope, you have this expectation. But while you're waiting, what are you doing? What are the people that are waiting on prophecy doing? More than likely, I'm going to be honest with you, they're not doing anything. Because this is what they're waiting for. They're waiting for the prophecy to come true. That's what they're waiting for. You see? What prophecy are you and I waiting for?
No, I'm not.
No. You're not waiting on are you waiting for David, for King David?
Nah.
No. Are you waiting for a Messiah?
Nope.
No.
He's gonna come. He gonna come when he comes. You know?
Thank you. So until that time, right? What we should be doing, I'm not saying that we should not be waiting for something, but we are patiently waiting to get out of exile. But what I'm telling you is don't wait for prophecy. Get active right now and start keeping the Torah. Start learning the Torah. This is the most important part of everything. Everything that I've taught you up to this point, there's nothing that outweighs the Torah. The Torah is the most important part of your journey with the Most High. And because it's going to help you and it's going to shape your life and it's going to help bring clarity to your situation, because that's what light is. Light brings organization. That's what light does. Yes, Jeannie, I see your hand.
Sorry, it was a mistake.
Oh, no, it's fine. Does everyone kind of understand what I'm saying? This is not about waiting for prophecy. We're not waiting for no prophecy. The life that you live right now is the only life that you have. I know that shakes us up and it makes us worried because we're like, okay, we were taught there's eternal life. Who do you know that's got eternal life? Who do you know that's come back and had eternal life? Is anybody besides this character over in the New Testament? Nothing. So right now is the life that you and I need to be concerned with. Don't bar yourself down or bog yourself down with future prophecies about the world coming to an end and the Antichrist and the devil and all this kind of stuff. You're wasting your time and you're wasting your life. Yah has made it very, very plain to us, okay, that we need to understand what he says, right? I want to talk a little bit more about this on Shabbat, about how the Most High sees us and how we should see him. Because the bottom line is we're supposed to understand, like, this is your moment. This is your time. You don't have any other time after this. This is it. Did you ask to come here? Who got the certificate that said that you signed up, that said you're going to come to this world? And how'd you get here besides from your parents? Did you put an application in? Do you know where you come from? No. We're very, very special. So what I'm trying to communicate is we don't control where we go and we don't control where we came from. The Most High is in control of literally everything. And for you to be on this path right now, and for you to be exposed to the Torah is tremendous. Okay. And whatever the Most High wants to do with your life and what he wants you to experience, then he's going to cause that to happen for you. Okay. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about that on Shabbat. Anyone have any questions before I let you go?
Oh, not for me.
Okay. So here's what I want you to take from this lesson today. The Most High gave them this information, and it took literally 6 months for them to build this Mishkan. Okay. And it took precision. Okay. And it took willingness. Okay. But it took skill. It took all these different types of things. It wasn't something just got popped up, you guys. It wasn't just overnight. And it was his intent. It was his intention. So if he's trying, listen to me carefully. If he's trying to bring them over into the land, right? He's trying to bring them to the land. Okay. And he's causing that to happen. Why would he all of a sudden just say, I'm going to take off the time and build a Mishkan? I'm going to use 6 months of their time to build this Mishkan. Why would he do that if he knows he's bringing them there and he knows that that's what it is? Why couldn't he just leave at the tent of meeting? Why did he require or ask for a contribution of the purple and the tekalith and the gold and the silver and the incense altar and the the Ark of the Covenant box and the Kaparim and the Malachim and the menorahs and the incense altar and the spices and the olive oil. Why? Why the horns on the altar? Why the bronze? Why the goat hair? Why? Why the badger skin? Why the linen curtains? Why the gold and the silver clasps and the sockets that hold all the boards together? Why did everything have to be done the way it was done? Why did he fit that in the schedule after they made the golden calf? See, those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Okay, and stop accepting the Christian narrative like they were just in the wilderness and he sinned out there and he was going to kill them and then he brought them to land and they didn't do what he said. There's more to this. I think it's something that he wants us to see, and we have to take the time. We have to ask those questions. Okay, so the only way that we can really be invested in this is we have to take the time to be invested. So you and I don't have the gold, the silver, the precious stones, and all these things to give. But what we do have, we should give, which is our time. Give the Most High your time and make an investment into the work that he has for you to do, into the Torah. Value